Hi, everybody. I would like to talk about a topic today that I've mentioned before, but it comes up over and over. And it's a big, big topic in the realm of caregiving, and that is guilt. And I want to talk about a couple of different kinds of guilt. We all have felt guilty on occasion, and we all pretty much know what guilt is, at least this first kind of guilt that I'm going to talk about, which is referred to as true guilt. True guilt is when there's an instance or we've behaved in a certain way where we've hurt someone or hurt their feelings, and we can say that we're sorry. Or something that happens to me occasionally is that I'll have an entire day of being what I call an old fart. I'm just I'm just kind of like irritable and nasty, and but with awareness I can sort of stop myself at this point without having something like that go on all day. And awareness is half the battle, but I can stop myself and I can say to my wife, Belle, I am really sorry. My behavior, what I'm acting like, has nothing to do with you. And I'm sorry that I'm acting like an old fart. But true guilt is an interesting thing because it does give us that opportunity to explore our behavior a little bit. And it's something that is in the brain. It travels in the brain. It's part of our reasoning system. And it reaches finally that prefrontal cortex, which is where we have our empathy stored. And that's where we can say, look, you know what? I see I did this. I'm really sorry. And this gives us the opportunity to remedy that. And it's a win-win. So true guilt can actually be helpful because it can help us change the way that we think about ourselves and the way we treat others around us. But then there is this second kind of guilt that I haven't ever talked about, and that is referred to as fake or false guilt. And that is a guilt that is triggered by the difference of what we're capable of and what we expect of ourselves, and not living up to the standards that we've set for ourselves. This is guilt provoking, but we can't remedy it because it really is within. So, and I've personally felt this too. I've had days where I've thought, I'm going to make this perfect. I just know that I can, be on a caring journey where this is my responsibility, and I can make this as easy and peaceful and joy filled on it all the time, all the time, all the time. And when I can't do it, I feel guilty. And that is the difference between my capabilities and my expectations. A perfect example of this false guilt in these past several months with caregivers is not being able to visit their loved ones in a long-term care facility. This has brought up this false sense of guilt just over and over, and it's absolutely heart-wrenching. Or the guilt at not being able to bring your loved one home from the facility, or the guilt caused when we see that somebody down the street brought her spouse home. Maybe she had the resources, maybe this, maybe that, maybe a whole lot of things, but you are not those other people. You are you. And to have the expectation that it should be different right now when you don't have the capability to make it different should not be guilt inducing. And caregivers, it seems to me, by their very nature, are just unbelievable perfectionists. They have this, guilt at not being able to visit or bring that loved one home, or just feeling like they're not able to make the difference they want to in their loved ones' lives. And just imagine for a moment how you would feel if you saw someone treating themselves the way you treat yourselves when you are thinking about this, the way that you think about it in your own life, the way you're treating yourself. I very often see caregivers supporting others. As an example, in my private Facebook group, people are Johnny on the spot to lift others up and tell them they're doing the best that they humanly possibly can, and then they turn right around and belittle themselves big time. So here's a plan, a few steps that can be practiced to try to get ourselves out of this idea of false guilt. The first thing is, please stop comparing yourself to others. This is a big problem too. We think others, we think we shouldn't complain. That's a biggie. And then we feel guilty because we don't feel like we're doing it right. But it's okay, we say to ourselves, we shouldn't complain. So please don't compare yourself to others as to, what they did or what they're able to do, or their situation is better or worse. That just does not help. The second thing that we can do as a plan is to lower that perfectionism bar. Even just a little can make a huge difference. I mean, this idea that we have to be perfect is just not cutting it. What are you really capable of? Give yourself a break. And the third part of this plan of helping with this false guilt is to reframe the way you talk to yourself. I said to a caregiver recently, and I truly believe this, that every thought is a prayer. So do you want your thoughts to be positive or negative? So when you say nasty things to yourself, it just, the energy of that is really not good for our bodies. It can actually make us sick. So please stop talking so poorly to yourself. Stop whipping yourself. You did not create the situation. And if you're able to do some of these things, like stopping comparing yourselves to others, please lowering that perfection bar and reframing your self-talk, you will over time feel way, way better, just to try to get it into perspective. So ask yourself when you're feeling guilty, is this true guilt? Is this something that I can change? Or is this false guilt, something that I've set up for myself and there's no cure, because there really is a quote unquote cure if you can just make some room and understand what's happening, that your expectations are way, way too high. So ask yourself if what you're feeling is a productive feeling, and if is that feeling serving you? Because when our feelings are not serving us in some way or providing some kind of ease, they are definitely not serving the ones that we care for. I hope this has helped, and definitely gives food for thought. And if you ever have a comment or want to post a question, please do. I love to hear from you. And let's all stop trying to be such perfectionists. I'll see you next time. Thank you.